Hello, and welcome to another failed broadcast, another failure of a podcast and gaming, whatever you want to call it. I just waste my time every day playing some shitty game. These days, games are so shitty. But hey, there's nothing else, nothing better to do in this world anyway, right? What else am I supposed to do in this stupid ass shitty world, man? Listen to society's expectations and I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. It's all filled with shit and garbage. Society is total nonsense. Everybody hates somebody like me, somebody who has their shit sorted out, who doesn't depend on attention from others for validation of their life, who likes to do their own shit, who doesn't have to kiss somebody's ass or pretend to be some slave and do the same things every day over and over again. And people hate somebody like me, right? They can't stand somebody if they are doing something for themselves, they're being happy. They want you to do something for somebody else all the time. They want you to be a total hopeless idiot working for some slave corporation that doesn't give a F if you are alive. You'll be replaced before you can even think about having a steady life. You always have to know that that's never going to be a possibility. You have to keep on grinding like a stupid maniac, and they call it hard work. Oh, you have to hard work. Yeah, I have to do hard work. And that's why I don't give a F about hard work or grinding or anything. I'm just going to use trainers and cheats because I'm going to enjoy this game. I'm going to enjoy it. And because the art and the design is actually quite good. But what I don't like about this stupid dumb game, the made by total idiots who want to waste people's time, I don't get why they have to make it so confusing. It's every little step, from the first step you get pummeled by some trash mobs, okay? You get pummeled to the ground, you get your ass beat because of some trash mob, and that happens within the first 5 seconds of the game. So you instantly have to open Google. This whole game is a Google simulator, man. It's just ask people for help simulator. It's a brain dead handhold, please, I need to know exactly how to play this game kind of simulator, because the people don't give a fuck. Whoever made this game, it's okay, I'll just put some trash here and there. I'll just put some characters who talk in the most absurd way possible. You can't figure out what the F they are talking about. I just randomly, because when Miyazaki was a kid, Hidetaka Miyazaki or Hideo, I don't know what his name is. He was a kid. He used to randomly open up books and watch movies without understanding what the hell is going on. And he was literally illiterate. He couldn't read or write the language, right? So that is a definition of illiteracy. I mean, he could be literate in other languages, right? So, but his experiences growing up were that of being a total illiterate and not knowing what the hell is going on, right? Just looking at things like how I'm looking at this weird ass blacksmith who's just talking some shit, and there is no context to anything whatsoever in this game. What is going on in this game? I'm a tarnished. What does that mean? No, you have no idea what it is. And some people are racist towards the tarnished for some reason. Why? No idea. Because you don't know what a tarnished is. So Hidetaka Miyazaki wanted to emulate his own experiences. He wanted to emulate how it feels like to not know about anything going on in the game, right? That's how we want to, because that's how he grew up. He grew up reading and watching things. I'm guessing till the age of at least 30, or like till his first project as a game designer or a developer or whatever his job was. He was actually a totally, or he was role playing, LARPing as an illiterate guy. He decided that his entire work, his motives in his work are going to be based off not knowing anything what is going on. And so he made like this, he ripped off a game called Severance Blade of Darkness by Codemasters, which was released in 1999 or 98 or something. Total rip-off. And he made a very bad rip-off. Like, imagine 10 years after a game has been ripped off, the rip-off is after 10 years of technological progress and, you know, all the wisdom that game developers get, he made it worse, like 100 times worse than Severance Blade of Darkness. Severance Blade of Darkness is a long ass game, brutal, difficult, and has a similar combat system with dismemberment, which is so addictive, and it is way more realistic because unlike these stupid idiots, the trash mobs and everybody here, unless they are actually fighting with each other for specific reasons, when they attack and they swing their swords and what, their friends in their group are immune to it. Like, it's like friendly fire is off, which is total insanity, man. We play games for, you know, because they're fair. The rules are fair. Now he designs bosses and enemies based on total nonsensical rules. Like, when a boss is down or lying down, you're like waving and hitting at them, and no, they're not getting hit. But when you are down and the boss is repeatedly like slamming you, yeah, you're dead. So it's a very artificial bullshit gameplay loop that Hidetaka Miyazaki has like lied himself into believing that he's such a great developer. And the only real thing that these games ever managed to do was make good artwork, which the Japanese do that anyway, like most of the time, and music and all that. I mean, I give it that. Even the design, I mean, since the design is good, the characters and bosses would be good, but game is totally unfair bullshit slop filled with total unfair nonsense. Guidance. Castle Monroe. Behind the castle. I was supposed to upgrade my shield, my sword and my shield. I defeated a boss here, I think. But yeah, man, I mean, it's kind of hard to enjoy this game because it's a Google simulator, man. Games need to be played like straightforward. And okay, if you don't want to make it straightforward, give side quests. So tedious everything in this game is, bro. It's made for losers. People who like to waste time. It's not even okay. Let's just be nice to people who play this game, but made so that people waste their time. Anyway, enough of ranting now. Let's hear worth the bias review. No. Elden Ring, right? Like, what's going on? Where's that chick?
Please, if you wouldn't mind, deliver the letter to my father at the castle. He can be stubborn.
Oh, where is he? I cleared the whole castle, bro. Rampart. Castle. Cleared the whole thing, man. Was a very irritating sequence. I had to use like a trainer or something to get through it. No, actually, no. I've only used trainer to give me souls to level up maybe 2 or 3 times. Because I couldn't be bothered to replay some shit grind. I hate grinding, man. If your game requires grinding, don't make games. People just can't be bothered to waste their time grinding, bro. If your game is really worth it, then we can talk about it. But is your game really worth it, bro? I beat him once. Why do I need to beat him again? And you get like some 200 souls or something for beating that idiot. Oh, I got an iron cleaver. Would it be better? Oh, it is clear. It is. Wild strikes. It is better, man. Finally, I got a better weapon. Let's try. Okay, not bad. Damn, that's powerful. Very powerful. Wow, you made the game easier. Makes me feel bad for cheating, but I don't. I mean, I don't because I cheated but to get a total of 10,000 runes till now. Or maybe 20? I did it twice. I leveled up three, four times maybe using the runes. I can't be bothered to go and do the same fucking actions over and over again. Use my FP. So your stamina is fine, but your FP gets reduced. Man, I'm gonna get a copyright strike for this fucking song, man. Now where am I supposed to go? Can somebody explain? Okay. But Mike, okay. Mike is really fucking weak, man. I have a weak mind. Anyway, let's get to it. But how am I going to get in the need to get in the castle, bro? How am I going to deliver this letter? Where am I supposed to go? He gave a fucking... There is a dead end, bro, here. Come on, man. Bloody dead end, man. Come on. See how stupid this game is? It's like they all sat down. Okay, we're going to build this massive world and we have to make sure people get confused each and every step of the way. Each and every step of the way, people have to get confused. Where could this guy be, man? There? Could he be there? Look at this stupid game, bro. Where, bro? Come on. Where am I supposed to go to find this guy's letter? Or to give this guy his letter. What letter? Claymore. Is that is that the guy there? Ouch. Wow. I think it's time to cheat. I need to watch something, bro. This is too dull. This game is so dull. How can you play this game without falling asleep, man? Why do people like these kind of... And this was the best game. Oh, everybody loved it so much. Clean and delicious. Woman chooses Botox over animal. No, there's not going to be any kind of truth speaking on this stream today. It's only going to be rant. The real, like, I'm not going to give anybody any education other than my ranting wisdom. Creepy TikToks that will make you question repaying her credit card. Oh my god. Far Cry 5 wasn't just a game, it was a warning. That's why I didn't play it, I think. We want a game, not warnings. Probably some woke slop feminist crap. Dictator, white guy, crazy, drug addict, dictator gone wild. That's all it's about. Politics, 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 politics. It was a warning because of some political nonsense. GG33 podcast with dollar cost crypto, world markets, and 9 life path. So this guy called GG33 life.
What is going on, you guys?
Ooh, I'm a fucking clown. I'm an idiot. I'm a loser.
I don't know how long.
Ooh, yeah, I'm a fucking low life.
I've got the 33 life path. Carry the numbers, guy. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother? What's going on, brother?
33
Brother?
stream.
So we got 3 33s.
Yeah, 33, yeah, Freemason, Masonic scum, we are all Masonic fucking scum, bro. Yeah, 33, brother. 33, yeah. 33 made me rich, yeah.
Don't you dare.
Come on, Nick Fuentes. No.
That's my friend. You let me know.
But all jokes aside, I mean, actually, last night we were battling supposed saints.
Yeah, of course.
On live.
Of course.
You want to give people a little breakdown of kind of that craziness?
I mean, listen. We have people who found Christ 3 weeks ago or 3 months ago,
Right.
and they're already telling people they're prophets. They only found Jesus 30 weeks ago, and not only now they're moved past all the billions of Christians, and now they're prophets. So I find that
I'm
quite,
just going to put the small thumbnail
interesting.
type
Well, you need
of
to explain that, what
stuff
do you
here,
mean?
like.
Well, they basically said, well, this one guy yesterday,
Ah,
he said he's John the Baptist.
Oh, right, okay, the
And,
reincarnation.
yes, the reincarnation of John the Baptist. And here's the
So,
best thing.
That's possible for you, isn't
Yeah,
it?
no, here's the best thing. He calls me the Judas Snake, okay?
Mm.
I'm the Judas Snake, but the way he proves that he is John the Baptist is with numerology and astrology.
So he's basically calling you the forbidden fruit.
Yes, but he's the one, but he's using that knowledge to prove that he is John the Baptist reincarnated. And again, this is all on Twitter. What a cesspool Twitter has become.
And this is Suleiman, by the way.
Right,
He
yeah,
hasn't introduced himself.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah. I'm like basically the king of Twitter. But coming back to it.
Damn,
Damn.
there's that
He said
33
sheesh.
ego. But here's the difference. 33rd deserved ego. He is the king of Twitter.
So, I mean, according to you, like, you can be reincarnated. So maybe this is him being reincarnated.
Yeah, right,
And
no,
now he's
what
right, like,
utter
solo.
garbage
I mean, he's a
nonsense they're
9
talking
like that.
about,
Of course he's the chosen one.
And I was about to get to that. Isn't it kind of funny the two
Does
guys
it
you're
make
arguing
sense
with,
to anybody?
were both 9s?
Yeah, I know. It was quite hilarious that both these clowns were talking, just shit about Christ and Jesus and Christianity.
No,
stuff
that's
I
bad.
do all the
I
time.
agree.
But they were doing
Don't
it
do that.
last year, and now all of a sudden they are saying that they talk to angels, and they've been Christians for like 3 months.
Yeah.
It just absolutely amazing.
Look at
telling
this.
people, all seriousness
Look at
aside, the Christians out there, you have like a mental illness within your cult. Because Christianity is the biggest cult in the world, 2.3 million people, followed by Islam, which is 2.1 million people. But here's the point: I've never seen a Muslim tell me I am Allah's chosen one or anything like that. Not one time have I ever had a Muslim tell me. But I've had multiple Christians tell me this. So obviously these people don't represent Christianity, but that mental
Okay.
illness is
Finally
alive
some
and well,
sense.
brother.
Right.
I mean, I think I'm Allah's chosen one.
Okay.
God,
There-
I'm joking,
God,
I'm joking.
yeah, bro.
There's some idiotic.
I'm joking.
So,
Izzy.
so
I
mean, the joke
realize
is,
something
like,
that's
Catholic,
idiotic
Jew,
and
a
it's
Muslim, and a Muslim
running
walk into a bar,
rampant.
right? And, no,
Rampant.
Well, a Muslim wouldn't go to a bar, but yeah.
yeah. Well,
in today's
you'd be
society.
surprised, brother. I've seen quite a few.
People are worshipping
Muslims and
other human beings, thinking that they are the avatar
No.
of
And
God.
then I've seen plenty of that, brother.
Yeah, brother, this is all I'm going to hear the whole time, right? Yo, brother, damn, bro, dude, bruh,
I've said for a long time that Miami's a lot crazier than actually Vegas.
You think so?
Oh, Miami, Chicago, Miami, New York, yeah, Miami, Chicago.
Real casino in Miami.
Oh, casino, yeah, so stupid, bro. Let me find something else. Then PC parasites, non-playable carol. This is how society. This is the nonsense that I was just talking about. These people think that they're actually gods. Like, how can you do that? How can you consider yourself a god? Are you stupid? Celebrity superstars, witchcraft and Satanism. Oh man, I'm robot polisher boldly going nowhere. Hey, not everybody can be a robot polisher. Oh, that sucks. Brain rot, the kid who makes millions destroying your attention span.
Show me a $1 mullet. Are you cheating on me?
What? Because men should never hit a
Show
woman.
me a $1 picnic date.
You've definitely seen some of these clips before. Well, where did they even come from?
What is TikTok brain?
We're starting to see an increase in ADHD. You're less likely to be able to focus, have longer periods of attention and concentration.
People call them like clippers. People literally just re-upload other people's content.
I watched a video the other day.
Yeah,
where a guy
so what?
makes 15K a month.
So what, bro? if they're watching other people's content and the content is good and they're making clips out of that, they're making a collection and a playlist out of that other people's content where some other person can access it on a regular basis, and they like the themes that are going on, what's wrong with that, you loser? You nobody who literally hasn't done anything other than repeat some regurgitated, rehearsed lines given to you by your agent, man. Grow up.
Popular streamers' clips.
Yeah. See how bad he's feeling. This guy is literally a sold out shill working for his sponsors, propagating mental health and selling drugs and I don't know what, like, oh, go get jabbed. Like, that's all this guy sits. Look at his face. Do people... I'd bet you not even 1% of his entire viewer count is authentic. Like, this loser trash.
This is how 10 million views on TikTok got me this private jet.
If you're trying to make money online, probably you've seen this guy all over your For You page. But who even is he?
It's the easiest job ever. You're just sitting on like a computer.
And what is this guy doing? Sitting on a couch and talking like shit.
Re-uploading other people's content.
So my editing mindset switched from let me just get the job done to YouTube is a game, it can be cracked, and this is how I'm gonna win. It means this month, yeah, mortgage is done, Baba. It's over. No more mortgage.
Whenever you see a clip with a game on the bottom, a Reddit story or an AI story on Instagram or TikTok, it's all because of this guy.
What a joke.
How much are you making now on a monthly basis?
We're looking around $500,000 a month.
Would you say then you also contributed to the detriment of the generation in popularizing just...
Why are they blaming this guy?
You're right, a little bit. The truth is...
And this, you really think that this guy is somebody who organically did all this?
All the way to Nottingham to spend the day with him and to see if
Oh,
he's
what a
really
shit show.
happy
What a
and
clown
made
show
out
this
of it.
Hassan X is, man.
This is the kid that destroyed your attention span.
Wow, this is the kid that destroyed... What a joke, dude. Is there anybody who is a bigger idiot than this guy? This watching 1 minute 40 seconds of this video gave me brain rot, man. Oh my god. Why I don't give a shit about this content? Why is like not interested, bro? Exposing the world's false teachers, demon slayers, and the Luciferian agenda. Time to listen to some relaxing.
Unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness, but unto them which are called.
Why is it so loud? No way. I quit my warehouse job of 12 years hard work gets you nowhere. What is going on? What is this thing about, man? This is the second guy I've come across making a shit take video on this particular country. If AI takes all the jobs, this is what society looks like. Let's check this one out. It's very interesting.
Society forever. From cashiers to CEOs, more jobs are getting replaced by their machines every day. The rise of new AI models is put on the accelerator, placing hundreds of millions of jobs at risk. But as the world becomes more robotic, more technology focused, what place will there be for humans? Just how many of us will lose our jobs? And if so, who will buy anything? How will the economy even work? Well, today in this video we're going to find out what's going to happen to humanity in the new age, and how the economy is going to function in a completely different way way. Now it seems like every year there's some new thing that everyone is predicting will completely take over the future. Most of them get overhyped and they end up fizzling out, or it takes decades to see any real changes. AI and automation are different. As we'll see, they're already changing society in a massive way. This is just the beginning. Tons of different jobs and industries are either about to change forever or they already have. We mentioned cashiers earlier, and they're one of the jobs at the highest risk of automation. In most chain shops and supermarkets, it's already happened, and we all see it today. It's very rare to go to any store now without any self-checkout machines, and if they don't have them, it just seems outdated.
Time to die.
2023 was actually a record year for these machines, with over 200,000 new ones added to the shops across the world. And there have been mixed feelings about them ever since they were introduced, but most people at least tolerate them. In a 2021 survey, 60% of people said they prefer them to the regular checkouts. Most of the time they're faster than other methods, more efficient, and if you're in your own head, you don't have to speak to anyone. Even if all of this is just a minor improvement to the relatively slow system, people do prefer it, especially the corporations using them. The amount of money they save is astronomical. What used to take paying 20 people can now be done with 20 machines and only 2 employees to oversee them. It doesn't matter if they lose tons of stock to theft, which is very common with the machines, as they still easily pay for themselves over time. It also doesn't matter if the whole thing does end up being a lot more annoying for the consumer.
Wow.
The process hasn't been fully automated really.
Oh my god,
Machines
did you see that?
More annoying for
Self-checkout machines now ask customers to... Man, the whole corporate world is... I have no idea what the hell. And they have no shame in showing us all of this as news cutouts. But nobody's gonna do anything about it, right? It's going to just... Okay. Okay. So what? Okay, let's move on.
Consumer. The process hasn't been fully automated really. The machines only take some of the load, leaving the rest of it up to you, meaning corporations make you do the work and cut out the costs while also making a profit from it. And this small example is a glimpse into a future of automation on a much larger scale. Instead of the whole process getting automated, people's jobs will get replaced partly by machines and partly by passing the work on to the consumers instead. It's something you see in another category of jobs that's about to disappear: customer service. Years and years ago, if you called a company's customer service line, you would immediately be talking to another person who could understand your very specific question. But now automation has made it so you need to go through 5 different layers of machines before you're even in the queue. And that's if the bot on the other end can even understand what you're saying. It's an absolute nightmare for everyone. And it clearly doesn't matter if the service gets better, as the only thing that matters is whether it makes a profit. AI might make these problems a little bit better, but it will also replace lots of the things they still need real people for. And it's already happening. Take the Indian e-commerce company Dukan, which was worth $70 million in the last evaluation. And in 2023, their CEO took to Twitter to brag about how he'd been able to replace 90% of the customer service staff with an AI program, reducing the company's costs by 85%. You can feel the joy oozing out of his announcement that he can fire 90% of one of his departments. While other CEOs might hide it a bit better, they're still salivating at the possibilities as well. This is something which will soon happen to the entire customer service industry. Eventually, even representatives in physical stores could get replaced by a touchscreen and a chatbot. It's yet another whole category of jobs that will soon just disappear under the steamroller of automation and AI. Data entry jobs are going the same way too. Between 2014 and 2022, the amount of people working these jobs in the US fell by over 20%, from 375,000 to 295,000. It's already a dying industry. Advances in AI will push this over.
Dude. I hate Windows, man. Okay, let's start it again. Reopen closed window. Where is it? Reopen, close, tab.
AI and automation have arrived, and they're going to transform society forever. From cashiers to CEOs, more jobs are getting replaced by the machines every day. The rise of new AI models is put on the accelerator, placing hundreds of millions of jobs at risk. But as the world becomes more robotic, more technology focused, what place will there be for humans? Just how many of us will lose our jobs? And if so, who will buy anything? How will the economy even work? Well, today in this video, we're going to find out what's going to happen to others. Years and years ago, if you called a company's customer service line, you would immediately be talking to another person who could understand your very specific question. But now automation has made it so you need to go through 5 different layers of machines before you're even in the queue. And that's if the bot on the other end can even understand what you're saying. It's an absolute nightmare for everyone. and it clearly doesn't matter if the service gets better, as the only thing that matters is whether it makes a profit. AI might make these problems a little bit better, but it will also replace lots of the things they still need real people for. And it's already happening. Take the Indian e-commerce company Dukan, which was worth $70 million in the last evaluation, and in 2023 their CEO took to Twitter to brag about how he'd been able to replace 90% of the customer service staff with an AI program, reducing the company's cost
what an
by
achievement.
85%.
Wow,
You can feel
amazing.
the joy oozing out of his announcement that he can fire 90% of one of his departments. While other CEOs might hide as a bit better, they're still salivating at the possibilities as well. This is something which will soon happen to the entire customer service industry. Eventually, even representatives in physical stores can get replaced by a touchscreen and a chat. It's yet another whole category
you
of
can't
jobs
touch me,
that will
bitch.
soon disappear under the steamroller of automation.
You can't touch me,
and AI.
bitch.
Data entry jobs are going the same way too. Between 2014 and 2022, the amount of people working these jobs in the US fell by over 20%, from 375,000 to 295,000. It's already a dying industry. Advances in AI will push this over the edge. The more procedural and consistent the work is, the more likely it is that a computer can do it instead. To go a bit further, administration and other office jobs are also destined to be replaced. This category encompasses millions of jobs. Lots of them could easily vanish in the next 10 years. Some will survive, of course. You need specialist skills or you need to deal with lots of different problems. It's much harder to automate. But the ones lower down on the ladder will almost certainly go, which will just make it harder for young people to get an entry-level job. A lot of the time when new technology comes in, it creates more jobs than it replaces. When we started using cars instead of horses for transportation, it didn't upend the economy, because there were new roles for people to take. It was the same with the Industrial Revolution before that. But what will happen with AI? Will the same thing be the case? Well, it's a lot more complicated with AI, and it isn't a black and white picture. One of my favorite TV shows is Mr. Robot, and you can probably tell from the channel. But did you see the mail service they used in the show? Well, they're actually today's video sponsor, Proton VPN. The VPN service is taking the world by storm. It's massive global network. With over 6,500 servers in more than 110 countries, Proton VPN has the most extensive coverage available, making it the go-to choice for anyone looking to enhance their online experience. Want to catch up on your favorite Netflix shows that aren't available in your country? Proton VPN allows you to change your public-facing IP address so that you can stream content from anywhere in the world, whether it's national TV programs or international sports events. Proton VPN has got you covered. And for those who value
Oh my
privacy,
god, this
Proton
fucking
VPN
shill, bro.
you can
Keep
actually
on
read their analysis
being a
on their
cocksucking
website. But
slave.
it should be clear that Proton will never share or sell you
Oh my, still going on?
with AI models like ChatGPT are almost perfectly suited to basic coding. Give them a single prompt and they'll do hours of work within seconds. With
Is this still
ability
talking
by
about
someone who knows
Proton?
what they're doing, it's fit for purpose. Just like the self-checkout machines, it isn't a question of the complete replacement of people. It's just that one skilled coder could use advanced AI to do the work of 5 or 10 people who are new to the field. It means that even if AI can't do 100% of the tasks associated with a job, it raises the bar exponentially as to what the standard is in the industry, which can in turn replace some people. A lot of these jobs aren't things people should really be spending their whole lives anyway, because nobody really wants to be a cashier or work in data entry when they're growing up. And in 50 or 100 years time, when the dust has settled, the world may actually be thankful that we've escaped from all this manual labor.
Yes,
but until
that's
that
true.
point, the economy is going to have to undergo some huge changes. And the main question will be, who will be buying anything if nobody's really working anymore? As we may very well be in a world where not everyone is expected or needed to even have a job, simply because there just aren't enough of them to go around. So what are the various predictions for how bad the damage is really going to be? Well, there's lots of different estimates, but even the most conservative still mean that millions of jobs will get replaced. In the short term, it isn't looking good. It's generally agreed that tens of millions of jobs will be lost over the next decade to AI. A lot more will be impacted in some way, which means that some parts of the work will get automated. For customer service jobs, it means employees would only deal with the complicated problems that an AI can't solve. Even though most predictions think it will boost the global economy by trillions of dollars. So how does this make sense? If people are actually going to be replaced, then how will the economy go up so much if no one can buy anything? Well, this is where it gets interesting. As we've seen already with automation, when the job gets easier, there's far more competition. Before GPS was widely used, being a London taxi driver was an incredibly hard job. If you wanted to do it, you needed to memorize a complete street map of the city. GPS and ride-sharing apps taught
3 years of that
meaning
training
anyone with
was
a car and a
required.
phone could
3 or 4 years
and the results were
of
clear.
training.
London taxi drivers saw or their wages fall by 10%. And it seems like AI might do the exact same thing to nearly every job there is, 60% of them in developed countries. The parts that can be automated will be taken over, leaving either less jobs or lower wages for the people who can still cling on. The paperwork that makes up tons of the workload for people like doctors or police officers will disappear, meaning there's less work overall. Only a few industries like teaching or agriculture are going to escape some level of automation, which again brings up the same massive question: how will the economy then continue to function? With so many people either out of work or struggling to make ends meet, it isn't clear how we're going to solve this. Corporations across the board have been taking record profits at the expense of almost everyone else, and so it doesn't seem realistic to imagine that they're suddenly going to share the money they'll make from the AI revolution. It's clear at this point that people are going to need to change the way they work. Physical labor will still be important,
Yeah,
but it won't be
people are
as
going to
common.
hear. So it doesn't matter what the companies do, what the governments do, people are going to have to change.
Basic office work and simple cognitive tasks are going to be far less important. It's what AI does best. Meanwhile, complicated tasks
just
which need
reduce
lots
the
of training
importance
or
of
a good deal of
humans.
natural ability will be in much higher demand. We've seen from history that these kinds of shifts lead to stagnant wages. After the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century, when millions moved from agriculture to manufacturing, wages stayed at around the same level for 50 years straight. If this happens again, then the economic hardship we see today could continue for another 30 to 40 years before it corrects itself. In fact, this time it might even be worse. It's a simple truth that tons of people just aren't academically smart enough to make the transition. It's a pipe dream to imagine that we're going to train the millions of truck drivers that will lose their jobs and do something else. The jobs they could realistically work instead are disappearing. People without college degrees that lose their jobs can't really easily retrain in another field and often fall through the cracks. In the best of cases, they go on disability for the rest of their lives. Often they just can't cope with losing their purpose, turning to drink or drugs, or simply just giving up. It's an awful tragedy that's going to be repeated over and over again if we can't find a solution. And this transition will leave tons of people behind, as most of us just don't have the skills or the natural ability to work the highly complicated academic jobs that AI will create. The AI trucks will need people to oversee the operation and make sure it's all running smoothly, even directly taking control of certain trucks if necessary. But it's not something that's going to be easy for anyone to pick up without specific training. The world is just getting too complicated for most people, but this could be one area where people could still find a niche. Instead of directly working as a cashier, shop assistants now often oversee a group of self-checkout machines. Instead of the job getting harder, it changed that most of the work is guiding people through the process instead. As more and more of the world gets automated, we'll need tons of people to start working these jobs in other fields. Grandma's not going to be magically figuring all of this out herself. She's going to need some help. Because developed economies are mostly made up of service jobs, this is going to create more jobs than you might think. It's a niche that people with more human-centered skills are going to thrive in. And it could be a good way to transition people that aren't going to retrain as coders or competent managers. The problem is that even if enough of these jobs get created, which seems unlikely, they often pay way less. In fact, we're going to see way less money in the hands of normal people in general. But
This
again,
guy's
how
here
will the
finally.
economy continue?
There's a face I've not seen before. I'm Edgar, warden of this castle, as ordained by Lord Godric himself. So you can see how things have turned out. The menials have all rebelled. They gave me good service, or so I thought. But it seems it was all an act. Foul creatures, as it said, and true enough, they're foul inside and out. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but whatever you come here to do, I'm afraid Castle Morn won't hold much longer. Take this, by way of apology.
Why is there a sacrificial twig? Wow. Wow. This game is so damn funny. Oh man. A sacrificial twig.
I see. From Arena. Thank you. I'm in your debt. But I can't leave yet. Even if the castle should fall. As commander, I must remain. To ensure the treasured Sword of Morn does not fall into the wrong hands. I'm in your debt for keeping the sword from those fallen creatures. I'm no longer bound by duty. Once I've rescued Arena, I will spend my remaining days with her. Thanks to you, I will be reunited and devote my remaining days. Arena has a gentle nature, I only hope it remains intact. Thanks to you, and devote Marina has a I only hope.
Oh, time to go. Did she disappear? Did she disappear? Dude. So she just disappeared from the map now. Okay, let's get back to
function. How can prices continue to go up and an economy start booming if nobody has any money to actually spend? We're at a crossroads right now. There's two main ways this can all play out. The first option could just be a complete disaster. Society continues on, no checks are in place, big tech AI companies get out of control, ethics departments are continually stripped, and lacking government regulation means we enter into a technocracy. Companies will pretend it's business as usual, but over time they'll cut out more and more of their employees, leaving the consequences for someone to deal with later on. If using AI makes a company 20% more productive, then they can fire 20% of their employees and maintain the same output. People won't even know it's AI either. They'll just get fired for, quote, underperforming instead. On this path, we'll see an outcry for big changes like self-driving trucks, but the small changes that make the difference when you put them together will go unnoticed. The media will blame the same tired old issues while more people get pushed out of the system every day. In this future, the profits from AI won't go to the people who need them. Corrupt governments will be paralyzed by lobbyists making sure the corporations are keeping their profits in check. Meanwhile, they'll go bankrupt trying to deal with millions of newly unemployed people. Without those jobs, people simply won't have enough money to keep the economy going. Crime will skyrocket as people go into desperation. Taxes will barely be paid, police officers stripped away from the streets, and anarchy and lawlessness takes over society. The relative value of human labor plummets, meaning almost everybody shut out of the economy without anything to keep themselves afloat, apart from stealing from one another, fending for themselves, and selling whatever they can to survive, which is an absolute recipe for chaos. People won't have anything to gain, so they won't have anything to lose. They'll vote for whoever says they'll make things better, the people offering the simpler solutions. It means a rise in extremism that will lead to unrest, eventually revolutions, and even dictatorship and fascism. Or if it swings the other way around, communism. Now it might seem like that's far away, but all it takes is enough hungry people to upend the entire system. And suddenly the reality, the social norms that we live in today, just won't be able to exist. Key government services like policing, ambulances, law and order, will just be abstract concepts that have no relevancy. And eventually the economic scales will tip back the other way, just like they always have. But it would take decades, and it's impossible to say how many casualties there will be along the way. And of course, none of this is set in stone. There is an alternative to this global tragedy, but it's all going to hinge on what happens to the money and the value that AI is going to create. If it gets to the people who need it, it'll soften the blow significantly. There aren't any easy solutions, but there's a few things that could really help take the edge off this crisis. One solution that's been discussed, although not nearly enough, could be universal basic income.
Universal basic income, yeah, communism, socialism, yeah.
To make trillions of profits, developed governments could simply give their citizens enough money
give
to never have to worry about working,
money,
but also keep society in
give the
check and
citizens
taxes
some
paid.
more, the
However,
poor
it's not just as simple
citizens who have
as
no
this.
way to survive,
As they have no passion,
no way to earn any
actual work to
money,
keep
no
their career, no
jobs.
destiny.
Give them a little bit of your income,
Being a human
please.
is working towards something, which can't just be replaced by a monthly check handed out by the government. It'd be more like a band-aid than an actual cure, but it would at least make sure that people don't
Why
go
are
hungry
these
and AI
damn videos so loud and my mic isn't? Damn videos. Why is my mic, why is my voice so less? Even the pigs will start hitting you. Everybody wants to kill you, everybody wants to kill you, nobody... They don't want to talk to you either, bro. All the normal NPCs just say like 2 lines, that's it, do this thing for me. Oh yeah, I'm sitting here. Oh, I'm not going to move my ass. Just do this thing for me, will you please? Okay, this happened and that happened. I'm sitting here. Do this thing, please. Please, will you? Please don't mind doing this for me.
Hey, do you ever think about how crazy it is that video games are only like 50 years old? Well, 60 when you count the experimental stuff. I mean, film and animation and everything, or at least twice that, and there are some art forms like plays that go back hundreds of years, and yet a medium that might be younger than your dad has become the biggest, most... So while I was making my last video, I finally got around
Nobody
to
cares.
video can learn from a game they made, figure out how to
Elden
improve
Ring.
some stuff,
Let's
and put
see.
those improvements to work
Let's talk
in the
about
next
Elden
game.
Ring.
Or how they can find something people really liked about one of their games and sort of focus more on that in the next. This is something that a lot of developers do.
Because they're stupid, brainless
I do think
idiots
they're really good at it, and it's been fun to see
who
their
want to
evolution.
take the opinions of idiots and people who have nothing better to do than just to press buttons,
very quick and fluid,
and then they take their ideas.
Hey, this is kind of like Sekiro.
It's not even their ideas that they take.
Easier. And so one of the first upgrades
They literally see what made them money, bro. They literally see what's making them the most money.
The DLC is something that lets you parry enemies like Sekiro. I thought that was neat, and something that shows FromSoft either listens to their fans or independently had a similar train of thought.
They don't listen to their fans, they just listen to money.
And in the main game with this Sekiro ability, and it's way easier. Especially for someone like me who's already played Sekiro and learned that mechanic. Something else people like me criticized about the main game was that the story and NPC quest lines felt sparse. So the DLC has this very direct storyline that involves a ton of characters who can kind of change their ending depending on your choices. People complained about the catacombs, so they all got revamped to much bigger dungeons that usually lead to other areas. There's just a lot of stuff where you can tell the devs saw the shortcomings of the main game and it influenced their design for the DLC. Now, not every addition is amazing. The complaint of over-leveling in the main game is solved with a collectible item that still left me in the exact same position as before, where I was massively under-leveled for some bosses and then collected all the items and steamrolled all the other bosses. Except the final boss, who is a nightmare of difficulty that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to waste time on the final boss of Sekiro, man.
They are adding on.
Nobody wants to waste. They want to look at graphics and cool shit and responsive gameplay. Like, the gameplay has to be responsive.
The final boss
These people are too loud, man. How do they get their videos so loud?
Everything that came before. It's using all of the
It's like unbelievably loud.
And it comes
I
alongside
don't get
all
it,
these
bro.
additional options they've given to help you beat them, like the Sekiro ability.
I don't
if they
get
have
them.
gone too far, which I think they have, it's part of this continual process where they can learn from it and make a better.
I'm going to
patch this one to tone it down. Something
do
they
a
already did
EQ
with
on
the
her.
last bullshit hard boss from the main game, who coincidentally is the same fucking guy. Elden Ring and Shadow of the Erd Tree aren't these distinct products built in a vacuum. None of FromSoft's games are. They're points on a line that is trying its
Okay,
best.
I
to
think this
always
should be a
move
little bit better.
Because keep in mind, this iteration is the only reason
But the
Elden Ring
output
exists
okay,
in the
I
first
don't know.
place. It's the only reason it's good or popular. The only way they'd make this big, intricate, interconnected world is if people loved Dark Souls back in 2011. They're only making Souls-like games in the first place because people like Demon Souls in 2009. And the incredible lore and story and world design their games are known
What
for.
lore, bro? What incredible lore?
I don't know, Kingsfield? The point is, you do not get a game like Elden Ring first try. You can assemble a talented group of people to make something.
Yeah, because it's designed to waste your time. Elden Ring is designed to waste your time. It's not like the good old Diablo 2 days, where it was so exciting to just go ahead and play things and just kill people, find cool loot.
Like 2006, by the way. There have been specific mechanics and bosses and ideas in FromSoft games that have gone too far or not far enough. You've gotten things like Bed of Chaos or that buck-ass snow level from DS2. But the strength of a developer who has been around for a while isn't their ability to just make something good first try. It's in how they make something better on the next. And again, FromSoft isn't unique in this. Tears of the Kingdom was as good as it was because it's the same director they've had since Skyward Sword, with the same producer since Twilight Princess, with the same team for the last several games, building off of Breath of the Wild. They could only get wacky with it and include that much content in detail because they're not starting from scratch. And that specific idea for mashing a bunch of parts together to make contraptions was something they only discovered from people trying to do that in the last game. Even in software from back in the beginning of the game made 4 first-person shooters before new. They could not get one of the greatest games ever made without Hover Tank 1 or Catacombs 2. Even John Carter credits his optimization of the new engine to porting Wolfenstein 3D to fucking super
And how did I get rid of it?
FromSoft and Nintendo, creators of the best games of the last traditional form wasn't the most effective. That's the best way to learn. And I think letting people learn is something the industry ironically needs to learn. Because without that, you're not getting any great games. It is actually incredible how big indie games got. I still remember watching Indie Game the movie back in 2012, how cool these solo projects were. Over 10 years later, the level of quality has just gone up exponentially. Something like Super Meat Boy used to be this award-winning achievement. And now games like Celeste, Tower, and Tanglewell are all over it. It feels like at any point you can just pull up Steam's web page, find an indie game released that day that's bound to, oh, never mind that. The main couple things that have caused this explosive growth have been increased in resources, inspiration, and competition. To make a game by yourself back in the day before YouTube, tutorials was a monumental task. On top of creating
bro.
you also had to learn everything about all the stuff you used.
Man, I've had enough of this guy, man.
Textbooks explaining certain concepts and programming languages, and maybe documentation for the software you were using, you had nothing to go off of. So of course, as all of those individual pieces got more attention and people willing to make tutorials and share insights, it got way easier to make a game. Compounded by the fact that a lot of these pieces, like Blender or Unity or Godot, got more and more open to the public. You have more options, more people willing to teach you those options, and more people working to make those options better, making your job even easier. Anyone can make a game. I cannot stress that enough. You need zero prior knowledge or experience with anything, because all of it is available to you online. I went to school for 4 years to learn how to code and design these things, but if I had spent those same 4 years just grinding away at a project, I'd be so far ahead it's not even funny. Also, possibly not $60,000 in debt. So because anyone can make a game, a lot of people do, and we have more games than ever. And the cool part about having more games, even in the AAA space where some big technical that one person could possibly dream of, is they all serve the same station. Every game that comes out is a game that then exists forever in one idea to make a game. A lot of the best ideas are just other ideas that Harvest, Pixel Graphics, Stardew Valley, Dark Souls, Metroidvania, Polar, roguelike deck builder, and Gambling, Nostalgia. None of these are like concepts nobody else has ever come up with. Someone just had to like it, and maybe they'll be good. So on top of this idea of iteration we've discussed within the studio, you have this whole other realm of innovation on top of the games from other people. And that's what's driven a lot of these ideas and projects across all the games, especially in this competition is so much more fierce. Now it's not just that you're making a game by yourself. Now you're making a game better than the last one. If you're competing, you feel that if anybody that's down one day and wants to make something. The bar has been set. Indie Games a Movie is already out there.
It's impossible.
Billionaires developing video games. So there is all this push and drive to get better and better, faster and faster, in an environment that is able to push things out and evolve quicker than the big developers can. And the result for players is just a ton of games all coming out all the time that are
Okay.
You get games like Hades, Seafood, that look like they could be made by a studio 10 times their size. Inscription and Outer Wilds, which seem to permanently affect the people who play them. War Thunder, which I've just found on an IGN list of top 100. Hello, gas crashers, who fucking wrote this thing? We are getting to the point where we're actually doing the definition of indie. It's so big, we're getting more by AAA publishers. That's an absolute nightmare to try and argue about in the comments of this video. It's a blessing for the community. We're reaping the rewards of all of these games that are much bigger and more expansive than they ever were. So video games are getting better technologically, they're getting better games, different developers.
Dude, why don't you hit him? What the fuck? This game is so stupid, man. I can't believe it, bro. I can't believe this game is so stupid. It's made for time wasting idiots, bro.
Some companies are remastering games instead of focusing on new ones because it's money. GTA 6 is taking about a decade to make with an unhealthy long development cycle. The rumored cost $1 billion just to look at the companies like Microsoft and Nintendo are rare.
Keep spinning like a ballerina. Margaret the fell ballerina, man.
Close an entire studio.
What a ballerina ass. Like, this is...
winning game. meaning very few game devs have the ability to learn and iterate on prior releases.
Yeah, like
because in all
Miyazaki
likelihood, they
doesn't.
just get fired after one. That
He likes to do the same things over and
means that if
over.
you're not
Yeah, we're gonna milk this
the best
mechanic as
has
much
to
as we
offer,
can.
you might not sell enough copies to make a living. With even high-profile developers like Jonathan Blow re-releasing old games to terrible sales in an attempt to get by. It would be incredibly easy for me to flip this entire video on its head and scare you by bringing up all the problems surrounding the industry. Tell you how all these good things are actually bad. And that's common territory for videos like this to get into. I've ended many videos on my channel in a similar way. But now, I really want to ask why. Because the one part of gaming that I think certainly feels like it's getting worse than essentially how people are talking about the industry and the way we're discussing it online. That feels demonstrably more negative than once, even if it's here. You've got tons of videos and articles saying gaming is dead, and studios and franchises and things. It's not never-ending stream of people saying the same
Come on.
ever. It's really frustrating to see when they're all done. Like just recently, I saw a tweet regarding Helldivers. The game kind of absolutely took over the internet for a while. And this tweet was saying that the game had completely fallen apart. Quote, it truly astounding how a company turned their
Wow, he just goes crazy, man. He just makes sure that you cannot like defeat him. Ballerina, Margaret the ballerina. Margaret the ballerina.
on all of the things, but it had a balance that some people didn't like, so they have to talk about it.
Margaret the fell ballerina.
In fact, that's a very common way to speak about a game you don't like. The game is dead.
Oh shit!
We're playing. Some people hate it so much, there was a problem with the game was being launched. Yet, in 2019, the number of games on Steam with over 10,000 active daily players is about 26.
Damn, bro.
That number is over 100. So again, the sentiment of gaming feels much worse than the problems actually
Okay, let's
are. And the
blacksmith
actual
max
problems are
this.
much older and more common than you might think. Need I
What's
remind
it
you,
called?
the developers
Let's
featured in indie game
both
The Movie have been on
black-
record to say they often worked so hard they
reinforced
forgot to
weapons.
eat. Because indie game development in 2009 was so stressful and competitive.
To reinforce,
The
have
gaming industry had
to.
so many layoffs leading into 2012 that news outlets
What a
compiled lists
stupid
of
ass
companies
game,
and
man.
employees
What a
affected
stupid
in the
game.
same way they made a chart in
Miyazaki, bro,
2023.
come on.
And the tally was over 11,000 people. And drives to push graphics forward have been expensive, risky endeavors since
Where is
Final
this-
Fantasy VII spent $21 million on just
Where is this
hardware
blacksmith,
for the game,
man?
which is still to this day one of the
Why is he like 10 meters, 10
None
kilometers
of these
away?
problems are new. You can say that they've gotten worse recently, but you can also say that the industry has just gotten much larger. Games are more profitable, so they get bigger budgets and more time to make.
Anything better
There's more
than my.
people working in the industry to lay off. More indie success stories to hear tales of crunch from. Now, that doesn't mean these aren't problems. It doesn't mean they're not bad. In fact, these issues being so prevalent for so long should probably tell you we need to fix them. But none of this is evidence that gaming is dead or getting worse. And yet people keep on saying that. Because we
And
really
you are
underestimate
propagating the
how
same
powerful
logic.
negativity is. Getting someone to feel a negative emotion is one of the most effective ways you can get them to care about something.
Like how you are doing, right?
Act. In my case, I like to talk about issues in different industries, bring
Negative
awareness to
shit.
them, and get people invested. You might not
Invest
give a
by
shit
talking about negatives.
but if I show you a game you liked and how
And nobody
hard
cares
people
about
worked
what
and
you
how
like to
bad they
do,
got
bro.
treated, and how the studio got shut down.
If you're gonna
well,
talk
that's
so
some
much,
stuff
come on, give some informative
Get
things.
hacked when
Tell
another
us something
studio needs
informative.
Support, or when workers go on strike, or when greedy executives do
Oh, here
something
comes
bad.
the communist
Go after.
propaganda,
Now,
bro.
that's my reasoning to use negative
That's
emotion
my-
to persuade people, and everyone does it. It's not an inherently bad thing, but it can be used for a bad purpose. You can have reasons to
F
use
this
it
game.
that aren't great, especially on
10K
social media,
runes.
where it gets you more attention, views, and followers.
F
the
this
more
game,
negative
F
you are. You know,
Miyazaki.
15K likes on a tweet that isn't even true. People have realized that they can get more attention to their cause if they tell you that everything is fucked and the industry is dying and developers hate you and you need to stop them. So that's the fuel
Oh.
for so many discussions online. It's the
Ah,
secret sauce
what?
behind a lot of the discourse. Keep people feeling bad because it's the best way to get them on your side. And this is why sentiment feels like it's getting even worse, even if everything else is getting better. When you look at gaming from a bird's eye view over a several year time span, there's a very positive trend. It's a line going up with dips and dives here and there, but ultimately a lot of improvement. But when you zoom in on any specific moment in time, of course you're going to find tons of issues and problems and scary trends that seem very threatening, especially when you're living through them. And the sort of paradox of it all is that these issues can be very real. And just because things might get better anyways doesn't mean we shouldn't try to fix it right now. It doesn't mean we shouldn't care. But we also shouldn't let the negativity consume us. We shouldn't spend every waking moment stressing out about this, thinking the whole world is falling apart, because there's only so much we can do. And too many bad emotions can just lead to us giving up entirely. Being negative about the industry can ironically be used in a very positive way. I don't think we should just stop using it entirely, even if such a thing were possible, but I do think we should be more aware of how we're using it. And we should definitely be more aware of how others are using it against us, because it can color our perception over time, make us think things are worse than they really are. So to answer the question of, is gaming better than ever, I think yeah, personally, it is. But I don't think it's better because graphics are prettier, or games are more complex, or studios are more plentiful. I think it's better because we have the power to make it better. We've always had the power to make it better. And I've seen firsthand that when you give people that power, they'll use it. And they have used it, despite the issues and the problems and the scary trends. They've used that power and pushed forward. They've worked toward the common goal that we all have, to make this the best space it can possibly be. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Bro, this is so boring, man. Again and again and again and again, the same shit. Conspiracy theories, iceberg that will put you on a watch list.
Welcome to the Conspiracy Theory Iceberg, a series that takes you deep into a world where the line between fact and fiction blurs, and the concept that reality is a simulation potentially benefits those with its findings. These critics, who questioned the lone gunman theory, were
He's just reading out from a script approved by the CIA.
each dealing with different aspects of magic and spirit conjuration. The first and most well-known section, Ars Goetia, details the 72 demons that King Solomon supposedly bound and controlled.
So
This
lame,
section
man.
provides descriptions of each demon, their powers, their ranks, and how they can be summoned. The demons listed include well-known figures like Baal, Paimon, and Asmodeus. The Ars Theurgia Goetia deals with a different class of spirits, known as aerial spirits, and details complex rituals for summoning and controlling them. Unlike the demons of the Ars Goetia, these spirits are more
Sponsor of this video. I fell down a well. Anyways, back to the ride.
Sponsor, oh my god.
When
What?
did you start driving for Waymo? We made it to the Beverly Center drop-off without any issue, and since it was a round trip, I had the option to just resume the ride again. As I went to resume the ride, I scared myself because there was a piece of lint on my pinky ring, and I thought it was a bug. After being literally so brave and getting the piece of lint off my pinky ring, I resumed the ride. However, we were in a tight parking lot, and the self-driving car decided to stop driving itself. Okay,
Uh-oh.
so...
That doesn't sound good.
So there's just a simple... We sat there, stuck between an AI rock and a completely
Fucking
open
loser,
place.
bro. Wait, I'm gonna show you now. I'm gonna show you who's the boss now.
That's it, we just gotta turn out. There was also a parking booth right in front of us, and this guy seemed so frustrated because he
I'm gonna show you what the fuck it feels like, bro.
But after a moment,
Be a
he
fucking cheat.
stepped in and he started moving just
I'm not even gonna let you talk. Whoa, shut up. Shut up. Nobody cares. Look at this cockroach.
ride-sharing industry, especially because at that moment, it was 5.
You're dead, Margaret, the idiot.
Will be cheaper forever? Yeah, I'm willing to bet my movie ride all over the country. We're currently testing in LA, Phoenix, and where they originally started, San Francisco. Now, to the
Smoldering with thy meager flame, cower in fear of the night. The hands of the fell omen shall brook thee no quarter.
Oh, finally, that fucking nonsense is over, man. It wasn't rewarding, it was just a waste of time and gave me a headache. Nothing is rewarding about that. Nothing is rewarding about whoosh. Nothing rewarding about that. And it's not registering. The game is so unresponsive, doesn't register anything. It is still a very well made game, but the difficulty makes it totally pointless, man. Like, why would you want to waste your time? No matter how beautiful or great anything can be, it just it just gives you very bad, leaves a very bad taste in your mouth, man. No, it's like you can't call it an achievement and a sense of great pleasure when you're wasting days.
Come over here, would you?
Wasting days, bro.
You're tarnished, aren't you? I would advise against taking the main gate into the castle. It's tightly guarded by hardened old hands.
I'm gonna kill him.
Try the opening right here. The guards don't know about it. You'll breach the castle undetected. Yes, that's the spirit. You're just the kind of tarnished that I like.
Sneaky, crawling on inside holes.
Your success. Use that out the guards. You'll slip right. Of course, when you approach the gates, it's only your neck on.
I'm just so happy. I'm just like, yeah, can you hear me well? I am just so happy. That I didn't waste my time grinding any of this. Because this is more exciting for me. Not dying in 2 seconds, like, dying in 2 seconds is not exciting and in a fight, but taking 2 minutes to reach that fight again, that's stupid. Like, that's really idiotic. And this is what I want, like amazing level design. This is what I consider really good level design. It is restrictive like a toy somebody made that, oh, they're building sand castles, nothing much, like, to make it exciting for... His trumpet got like cancelled, that was funny. Man, I should always use this great sword now, like, henceforth. I don't want to feel that sense of terror and danger at every corner. I wouldn't mind that if it was fair. It's not fair. If it was fair, okay. Now you'll say nothing is fair in like... What, he just died? See? You tell me, is that fair? Hey, it makes me want to play Fear with the RTX on. I'm gonna try that, because this thing is getting a little tedious at the moment. Delivered. My shoes, my bare feet shoes are delivered. If it was fair.
Driverless cars that some San Francisco residents say are making them lose sleep with honking horns all night long as they try to park themselves. Larry, back to the story. I'm glad none of us live there. We have a problem.
This morning, San Francisco residents are fed up after being kept up at night by driverless Waymo cars honking at each other through the night as they park.
Past 2 weeks I've been woken up more times overnight than I have combined over 20 years.
It's also particularly shocking to me that they can just be on the road testing when it feels like we don't have a lot of rules for that yet. There were multiple incidents of self-driving cars being pulled over by the police, and they just like don't really know what to do.
An officer gets out of his car to speak to the driver. Cover, and then the car speeds away from the officer, passing through an intersection before pulling over again.
No, can you show me out at 77 miles I got an unmanned vehicle that was kind of taken off from me.
Why do I have to press OK every time I pick something up?
It's not every day. Police officer pulling over a driverless car.
But with all that being said, my ride was somewhat smooth, and it was coming to an end. But yeah, after a few minutes, I got to the end of the ride, and it was time for me to get out.
Why'd the screen go blank?
But as I entered the sight lines of the Waymo,
Haha, you're gonna laugh. I know this
I
idiot.
realized that it was just my first automated
Why?
taxi driving away.
Why is he so powerful and strong?
How long have you been driving for Waymo?
Blood loss.
Okay, so...
Banish Night Helm art. This game might not be that difficult after all. I feel bad for cheating now, so I'm gonna put God
Waymos
on.
aren't the only self-driving vehicle in my neighborhood.
Now at 5:30, Hollywood's food delivery robots are under attack. Videos show vandals kicking them and even tipping them over.
Food delivery robots. You may have seen them getting beaten up on the news, driving through an active crime scene. Or were trying to cross the road on a red light. This is not my video, but I have seen this exact thing happen before. I watched one go out into the road on a red light, a car just screeched to a halt and honked at it, which the robot's not gonna be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. If you're unaware, around the time of the pandemic, these little guys started driving around LA. They show up to a restaurant, lock the food in their little box body, and then drive it over to your address. But I mainly know these robots from them getting in my way while I'm on a run. This one was recorded just a few days ago while I've been making this video. It almost ran into me, and after I finished my run, I circled back about 10 minutes later to see the progress it had made, and it had only moved 1 block. These things just sit there, not move. Oh, it's actually going. Oh, I stand corrected. It is on its way. Oh, nope, it's on its way. It's going right to the address. Oh, nope. Okay, nope. Okay, now it's going, and I think it's gonna make its way to the address just oh. And now it's going in the grass. It got stuck in the grass. But there's something glaringly obvious when you look at both of these self-driving robots. The main reason for them existing that we can't ignore. These are here to replace human work. So
very nice.
Nothing goes terribly wrong with the Waymo cars and delivery robots.
Well, where are the RTX shadows?
Example of the real crisis we'll be facing in the future. New technologies and labor have always done 2 things at once. 1, it makes the task of labor easier.
It's not required.
2, that labor comes with less of a need for the number of laborers. Let's take the taxi business for example. It was all but completely destroyed by ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft due to convenience. Now that we have millions of ride-sharing drivers in the US alone, what happens to them if Waymo is a success? Now I can already hear the popular argument for technological advancements in work. Well, okay, sure, people will lose their jobs, but that technology will create new jobs. Machines need engineers, people to produce and build them, people to repair them. But with the evolution of technology, and specifically the aim of AI, it's convenient.
I will never waste my money or time on this kind of trash, man.
Let's say Waymo puts all ride-sharing
I've wasted enough of money to build my system.
Are they all going to become AI
Not going to waste any more
AI
on this kind of
will just
trash.
take those coding jobs too, no? So my question is, if AI gets better,
Miyazaki, that's classic Miyazaki design for you.
different job, how could you guarantee
He's still living in the Mario 64 era,
Isn't
man.
that the whole goal of making AI more intelligent? And in fact, even on the consumer end, I've been taking a couple of Waymos over the last few weeks. How long you been driving for Waymo? And there's even been times where it is more expensive than an Uber without any human labor involved. There's no driver, and yet it's somehow more money? So
More
what's
expensive.
the point? The point would be not to make it cheaper or more convenient for us, but not having to split that profit with a driver that works for you. It's the same, if not more, out of your pocket.
Scumbag, that is Miyazaki. Miyazaki getting off of all that. I traumatized the player.
I mean, this type of thing would require a completely new system for working.
Miyazaki getting off
Even if most corporations had AI
irritating
take
players.
99% of the jobs in their companies, how the hell are they going to make a profit if 99%
Feeling
of people
proud
are
of
out
himself.
of work?
Yeah. I'm so cool. I irritated the person who paid money to buy this shitty game.
89 cents in 2009. 89 cents in 2009, calculated for inflation today, is $1.30. $1.30 is not over $4 last time I checked. And if a computer digitizes a 5-layer burrito into existence without any human work, are you gonna make it cost way less, Taco Bell? Even if it's cheaper, what money will I have if AI takes my job? My job isn't hard. What money will any of us have? It's the most short-sighted bullshit I've ever seen. Even if you're mega wealthy, you can't keep making gains on your investments.
I'm gonna die. This guy's going to kill me.
Why would you want computers to take all our jobs? And I don't even know if AI is that
Touch
good.
grace, touch grace.
That good. But what are we thinking? Alright, so maybe I got a little too heated about the beefy 5-layer burrito. So I decided to use AI in a way that usually calms me down, watching movies. And the big scare for movies right now are
Don't
AI
say.
video models like Sora AI and Luma Dream Machine.
It's an AI technology that generates video from a text prompt. So you describe what you want to see briefly in a sentence or a paragraph. The system will
Miyazaki design.
what you've described.
I'll be honest, I've been pretty closed off to the idea of AI being used in movies in any way. It seems like while some of it can be used as a tool, using it to replace creative work will take out the richness, detail, and hard work that's poured into every frame. But maybe I'm just afraid of change. So I decided to get cozy, sit down, and watch an AI video that has it all. First, I thought Panavision 7 AI film.
In a distant galaxy where the eternal struggle between light and darkness plays out among the stars, follow Luke Skywalker, a young farm boy destined for greatness. Alongside Princess Leia, opposing them is Darth Vader, the formidable Dark Lord of the Sith.
Okay, so it's just shitty AI GIFs that look much worse than stills of the actual movie, narrated by an old-timey AI voice. Not a great start, but what the hell is The Simpsons by Adam Sandler Kramer comedy?
Hi there, I'm Homer Simpson. Welcome to our crazy movies. Let me introduce my family friends and some of the other colorful stories. First up, there's my lovely wife, Marge. She's the glue that holds the family together through patience.
Miyazaki getting off on player irritation. They recorded him and as the death, like they recorded players' reactions when they throw it. Like you see all these compilations of reacting, rage quit, people breaking their like bloody. People are breaking keyboards and throwing up and punching the screens. And Miyazaki, you know what Miyazaki does? He watches all of this. He watches all of these compilations of people losing they're probably ruining and like burning away a lot of money and showing the true psychotic side of them. Miyazaki watches all these reaction videos and then he arrives. He's like, and then that's how they record the death screams or moans when the player character dies. And I'm sure he does the female voices too. Like that's been nothing for him. Ooh, Miyazaki. Ooh. Ooh. So artificial, man. It's all artificial, meant for the players to feel like trash.
Trying to make the world a better place. Now, there's Ned Flanders.
This isn't a trailer for a movie, it's just disturbing shots of who they'd cast for live action, while a shitty drives everyone.
He's a bit too perfect sometimes.
Enough! Why should I bother playing this game? Why should I even bother? You tell me. Give me one reason.
I'm a pretty smart guy.
If they're just going to have unblockable, you can't get them out of their, you can't stun lock them, and then just keep doing it. Give me that move then. Give me that
Got a
move.
great app. The team is held together by Black Widow, who for some reason is married to Colin Jost. And I still don't get it. I mean, sure, Colin seems like a nice and funny guy. But really? Those two? For real? Hold on, this was uploaded 13 days ago and has over 2.7 million views. I think these are really scary for the CGI and the art that goes into that. This is nowhere close to scenes where two people can talk to and react to each other. As I continued browsing, everything I watched, no matter the genre, has one thing in common. They were all deeply, deeply sauceless. Just boring,
And there's a loading screen. I'd rather play Witcher, right? Enough of this. I'm bored of Elden Ring now. My next stream is going to be Witcher.
Like this one. Genesis, this movie entirely made
Quit,
by
quit,
AI
quit, quit. Enough of
4K.
this.
In a
Quit
fleeting
being.
heartbeat of time,
Need to eat.
humanity's own creation sparked a nuclear inferno, turning our vibrant Earth
I don't